What would happen if Zenitsu managed to learn all of the 6 thunder-breathing techniques? Would he finally stop being a coward and face his enemies head-on? What do you think will be the extent of his power? All he does is the first form and that's it. While he has perfected it to the core, I still wish that we could see him perform his flashy moves with different breathing styles. That would be awesome, right? Your dreams are finally going to come true with this theory that we have in store just for you. Imagine how enormous the impact on the story would be if he actually learned all the forms. I'm going to put forward 2 different but exciting scenarios that ought to change everything about Demon Slayer as you know it. So, without wasting any time, let's go through them one by one. It only makes sense that we begin the first scenario from a point where our main characters go through their training arc. After realizing how useless he was in the battle against Rui, Zenitsu vows to do better and starts his individual training to master the other thunder-breathing forms. Obviously, it will prove to be quite a strenuous task since he no longer has his master Jigoro to teach him. We are all aware that Zenitsu cherishes Nezuko the most, and he'll not let her be in danger again like before. The intense training will be worth it by the end, and he'll at least have an ounce of mastery in his skill to perform the 5 other thunder-breathing techniques. It would massively boost his confidence, to the point where he no longer has to remain asleep to be at the top of his game. As we progress toward the Mugen Train arc, Zenitsu would have a much more significant role this time around. Knowing all the forms to some degree will help him clear out Enmu with relative ease. Yet, we all know what comes next, right? But don't worry, Zenitsu won't let Rengoku's blaze go out in vain. Although Rengoku's defeat is imminent due to a difference in power, Akaza isn't going to find it easy to escape. Just as he is about to cover himself in the shade of the dense forest, a lightning spark traveling at a tremendous speed will hit him from multiple directions. Zenitsu's newly acquired thunder-breathing 6th form, Rumble and Flash, will halt Akaza in his track. This will give Tanjiro and Inosuke enough time to launch their last-ditch attempt to cut him down, which will most likely fail. The good news is that the sun would have risen by then and a horrifying shriek of pain will surround the area as Akaza slowly dies a painful death. Rengoku's death will still deeply haunt our main characters, who will rigorously train their hearts out to make sure it never happens again. This will allow Zenitsu to become pretty proficient in all of the breathing techniques. You'd be surprised to see how these forms will elevate Zenitsu's contribution to the Entertainment District arc. The final fight will be so ferocious that it might as well be the anime fight of the year. After Gyotaro emerges out of Daki's body, the battle will be fought the same way, except Zenitsu would utterly overpower Daki from the beginning with the help of Inosuke, who will run away with her head the first chance he gets. Now that she is out of the picture, Zenitsu can actually go ballistic fighting Gyotaro along with Tengen and Tanjiro. Sure, it's still not going to be the easy fight that you expect. It would be quite the spectacle and a whole lot more entertaining. Honestly, the thought of a conditioned Zenitsu chopping at Gyotaro with stellar speed gives me goosebumps. How cool would that be? It won't be long before Gyotaro makes a mistake after being continuously pummeled by not 1 but 3 skilled demon slayers at once. Tengen will soon complete the preparation of his musical score and fiercely put an end to Gyotaro with Tanjiro and Zenitsu by his side. The next time we see Zenitsu in a full-fledged fight to the death would be against his old senior Kaigaku in the Infinity Castle arc. All the manga fans watching this video know that Zenitsu did come out as the victor in the end, though this emotional battle would hold more importance given that Zenitsu would be able to fight Kaigaku truly as an equal this time. Without wasting a moment, Zenitsu will unleash his incredible prowess of thunder breathing against Kaigaku, who will find it immensely hard to keep up. It did not last long at all as Zenitsu ends the bout with his 7th form just like in the manga. I know, it ended faster than any of Zenitsu's moves. This is where we'd get to witness the peak of Zenitsu if he had learned all the forms. Zenitsu's support throughout the final fight against Muzan would be staggering with the help of his mastery of thunder breathing. Notably, Tengen would be present at the fight too since he wouldn't have to retire. Zenitsu is definitely going to get his ass kicked, but hey, at least he will end up saving the lives of multiple Hashiras. It wouldn't have been possible if he didn't defeat Kaigaku quickly and join the fight early instead of arriving late as a reinforcement. Defeating Muzan when you aren't the main character is totally out of question even with more breathing forms on his side. This sums up his destiny if he went all the way with thunder breathing. Do you think it is of any value after all? The scenario is essentially a rendition of the first one with slight tweaks that will cause a domino effect for sure. Just picture this for a second. Instead of focusing on a single breathing technique, Zenitsu overcame all odds and actually learned the 6 breathing techniques at an early age. This circumstance would really make him overpowered from the get-go. Honestly, he would be able to rapidly obliterate all his opponents, no matter how strong. Moreover, we will finally get to see him brave out his fears. You guys better prepare yourself for a Zenitsu that doesn't sleep while fighting. The first time that Zenitsu is tested to the core is when he fights the creepy spider demon son. I think we all can agree that it was pretty hard to see Zenitsu suffer throughout the fight, but with the addition of the other breathing techniques, it would literally be a walk in the park for Zenitsu. Spider Demon is standing absolutely no chance against the 3rd form Thunder Swarm that will quickly put him to eternal sleep of death. Considering just how quickly Zenitsu would massacre the Spider Demon, this would mean that he would run off to help Tanjiro against Rui next. With Zenitsu by Tanjiro's side, the battle would be a lot different than how it originally went down. The 3rd and the 6th form would be a nightmare for Rui's webs which would cease to exist due to the overwhelming lightning. Gi would probably not be needed to end Rui's life since Tanjiro and Zenitsu would get the job done together with Nezuko's blood art giving them support. it's safe to say that the Mugen Train arc wouldn't be the same at all. Enmu would be no match for him as the fight would end fairly briskly due to Zenitsu's sheer velocity. This would lead to the squad being completely unscathed and ready for the unexpected Akaza encounter. All four of them together fighting their lives away against Akaza's might would be a sight to behold. Since Rengoku has a ton of powerful backup this time around, the fight is definitely going to go in their favor for a while. Akaza would turn the tables on them soon enough and break a few bones and so. However, I think that the fight is most likely to end up in a stalemate with a glimmer of sunshine from the horizon, which will make Akaza flee disappointedly. The events will continue to flow similarly and the trio accompanied by Tengen will go to investigate Entertainment District. The final battle will start off as usual until Daki realizes how outmatched he is. You can expect Gyutaro to appear much quicker to help out his sister. Since all of our heroes are way stronger now, this fight would pan out to be pretty easy as they will annihilate the brother and sister after a decisive blow by Zenitsu on Daki and Tengen's strike on Gyutaro, though it wouldn't be as fun to watch. Well, all of Zenitsu's hard work and training will pay off during the final arc of Demon Slayer. Things will get increasingly exciting from here on out. His fight against Kaigaku would be pretty short-lived since Zenitsu would tear him apart. That's not what we're going to focus on. The real deal is Muzan himself. Saving the likes of Tengen and Rengoku would lead to a much more nail-biting fight. All of our favorite Hashiras will come together to slay the monstrosity of Muzan, who isn't going to give them an easy victory at any cost. Like the first scenario, most of the Hashiras will end up surviving because of their unparalleled prowess. Muzan isn't going to live to see another day as our main characters will finally end the reign of terror. It sounds like a fairy tale ending, doesn't it? I won't mind as long as Rengoku stays alive. In all honesty, it doesn't really matter much whether Zenitsu learned all the breathing techniques or not. The conclusion stays the same. Coincidentally, are you curious on what would happen if Erwin took the Colossal Titan instead of Armin? If so, click the video right here to find out.